Alright, well, hey everybody, this is LMP Games, and we are back for another First Impressions. Tonight we're doing a bit something, well, something special. We've done one or two of these so far on this series so far, this First Impressions series so far. And we're going to be reviewing, or not reviewing, but we're going to be doing the First Impressions of a game from a very popular series. So, actually, you probably can see the thing there, but I probably spoiled it a bit. So this game is made by Square Enix, published by Sony, I guess, or no, I guess Square Enix can publish it themselves. Yeah, it's made by Square Enix, or at least doesn't have another studio name in here. But it's a very old series, been around for a while. In recent years, it's actually kind of had I wouldn't say like a falling out per se, but it's like become contentious in terms of like getting the developers to make the games for the series, because they are trying, they've been trying, like for example, the last major game that came out didn't get the international version until they reached a certain number of sales. And I think they were always going to release an international version, but they were trying to get sales boosted, so they made up that line about it. But it's a series I've played all the games for except for the first two. I played some of the second one, but not the first one. But I own 3, 4, 5, and now 6. And I've played through all the mainline games. I haven't played all the way through 5 yet, but I've beaten 3 and 4. I think I've got about halfway through 5 and kind of lost interest because other things happened, and I didn't have time to continue with it. I wasn't really too impressed with like the initial visuals for this game. From like the trailers and such, the character designs looked a little bit funky. But I haven't seen anything since like the really early initial trailers for this game, so I don't know what to expect from the finished product. But if you haven't guessed what this is yet, we're going to be taking a look at Star Ocean 6: The Divine Force today. I've been a Star Ocean fan for quite a while. The first one I played was Till the End of Time. One of the best games on the PS2, hands down. I'm looking forward to this, even though my initial impression, like I said, from the initial trailer, like the announcement trailer, was that seemed like it was potentially going to be kind of rough. But I haven't seen anything of this since then, intentionally. So like I said, made by Square Enix, probably punished Square Enix. It's probably created and published by, I see, on the back of the box, it says, when two heroes cross paths, the fate of the universe awakens. On a routine transport mission, Raymond Lawrence's spaceship is attacked by the Pan-Galactic Federation, and he crash lands on an underdeveloped planet. Well, okay, this is like this is the opening story to every Star Ocean game since 3. On an underdeveloped planet, he meets Princess Letitia, who is fighting to protect her homeland from an invading empire. Together they set off on an adventure that will shake the foundations of the entire universe. I mean, landing on a what is it called, the U3 planet or whatever. Like, I'm trying to remember my terminology from the third game. But like, there's a specific different designation for an underdeveloped planet, but like literally let's say 3, 4, and I believe 5 all kind of start out that way, or at least end up that way in the beginning. So that's kind of interesting. I really don't know what to expect from this outside of like the usual Star Ocean stuff. I do know like the battle system has changed a little bit over the years. It's gotten more actiony and less kind of strategic, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, Star Ocean. One thing that I didn't really particularly like about Star Ocean 5 was that the battle system was way too busy. There's everything going on all at once, and it was very hard to keep track of things for me. Which is very different from how I felt about 4. And well, 4's battle system was kind of that way, but the main problem with 5 is that there's like literally 6 characters that you were controlling in battle instead of just 3 or 4. So I think hopefully they dialed that back a bit, because I think that was a real detriment to the battle system. So I'm hoping we only have like 3 characters we can use in battle in this game, hopefully. But yeah. Let's just chill out here on the listen to this music real quick for a second here. It's going to be the first one of these I'm doing with HDR enabled, and doing with my new capture card. So after the last, I think it was Chorus, I got got version 2 of the Elgato 4K60 capture card. Went through a whole thing installing it, but if you've been following on Twitter or the streams one I had since then, you'll know that story probably. But so what I got it for was because the old one, while it was still good, was working fine. It had some problems, a little bit buggy. There were going to be no more firmware updates for it, and it couldn't. I believe that was having issues with dealing with PlayStation input, because PlayStation 5 input specifically. So because it would get extremely hot whenever I would capture footage through it from my PS5, it would always just pump out all kinds of heat. Not as much as like a graphics card, but enough that like the GPU would start to have maybe like a C or 2 higher temperature because of it, and the ambient temperatures in the case would rise up a little bit. Whenever I would like go in there after doing long streams, when I was capturing from it, the actual card would be really hot to the touch. So I decided to get version 2, which is much smaller. It's like 40% smaller, much less heat producing, generating. It doesn't have the 2 chips that the version 1 does. It has 1 chip. So it uses less power, less heat, less space, which are all important because it also then allows improved airflow for my GPU. And also supports HDR 10, or no, HDMI, is it HDR or HDMI 10? There is some HDCP 10, I don't know, something 10. HDR and a bunch of other things, so I actually can now see what the PS5 is capable of for real. So I've been doing all my stuff on the PS5 without having an HDR capable way of viewing it. I could just hook up directly to the monitor, but then I couldn't capture it properly, right? Now, as far as your end goes, you're not going to be able to see the HDR stuff because you can't capture HDR. That's going to disconnect the, like, when I talk about like graphics and things, there'll be a little bit of a disconnect between what I'm seeing and what you're seeing now. But it gets me a little bit closer to the actual state of things, you know. Now, for true proper experience, I'd have to have an OLED monitor, but I don't have one of those. I don't have the money to blow on those or the space to have it on. Well, I probably could buy one, but I don't have the space to put it. Eventually, we'll get around to doing that. Anyway, enough waffling about. Let's see what this game is about. So from what I remember, this guy in the middle here is the main character. I guess his character model looks a little bit better than like the like launch trailer, not the launch trailer, but the release, the announcement trailer. Yes, Trace. Oh, that's right, Trace. Yeah, Trace is the developer. SE is the publisher. This is a weird one. Why would they? Usually they have like an image that's certain ways for brightness. We'll play it on extreme darkness or extreme brightness. We'll just blind everybody here. You know what's funny is that going up to 100 brightness actually has no difference. There's no real... I can't tell a difference. Like, until I get right about here. Actually, I take that back. It's actually a very subtle difference. There's a small difference though, but it's kind of interesting. I think 50 is probably fine. It's like the right in the middle default kind of thing. Prioritize frame rate or image quality. This is a question. Since this is technically not going to be like the walkthrough, right? I'm not going to prioritize frame rate. We're going to try image quality. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, right? It's just going to probably lock it to 30, which is fine. Stable 30 FPS, so there's no problem with that whatsoever. I know people always bitch and complain about it, but I mean, realistically, stable 30 is not a problem. Now, when you get into the territory of not having stable 30, then that is a problem. Like for dipping into the 20s or even going up to the 40s and back down to the 30s. That's when you start getting weird stuttering and frame hitching and stuff like that. But if you have a stable 30 frame rate, perfectly fine. Except when you're playing a game like a multiplayer FPS game or something where frame rate actually matters, because it has to deal with hit confirm and stuff like that. Other than that, any other type of game aside from multiplayer FPS doesn't fracking matter one bit. Maybe fighting games too, potentially. Maybe fighting games too. Online anyway. But in terms of just like generally playing a fighting game like offline or against somebody locally, no, doesn't matter either. As long as the frame rate is stable. If you don't have a stable frame rate at if you have 60 FPS sometimes and then like 45, between 40 and 40, like 59 the other times, you're still gonna have problems because it's not stable. So, plus this will give me an idea of like performance. Okay, we got some rock music here. What do we got? So, some sort of montage of things that are happening. I don't think this is like a sequel. None of these are directly related to each other. At least they haven't been in the past. Why does it feel like I'm watching a trailer or something? I mean, the graphics are okay so far. This is like the... Well, I'm going to assume this is all pre-rendered. In-engine pre-rendered. This is a weird way to open a game, though. Yeah, this is all stuff from this game, it looks like. Granted, there's no context, so technically this is all spoilers. You want to be very, very, very specific about it. But without the context, technically it's not. Still. What the hell? They got friggin' gold motherships in the background there. Okay, finished installing. This is so weird. This is not how you do an intro to a game. This is literally just a trailer. Weird. That could have literally been like the launch trailer or something. That's what it felt like. That's a very weird way to open up a game. And the music for it is very not Star Ocean, too. It felt way, way out of place. I'm not gonna like knock off points for that, but it just that feels weird. That feels like a really bad game design choice to do that. we'll see what happens as I play through it. Like if there are other things like that that feel like they're really just really odd decisions, then that will probably have an impact on game design as far as the category goes. But this is an RPG, so we're looking at battle mechanics, we're looking at story, and we're looking at general game mechanics mostly. Those like the top ones, and you got audio second. Maybe level design too, depending on what type of levels there are. Like if this is wide linear, like most modern RPGs are, then level design isn't that big of a deal because wide linear is not that hard to mess up. It's not, you know, usually you don't have anything that's really spectacular. That comes from the actual level design, right? That's more on like the art side of that. But if it's like linear, like FF13 linear, then level design kind of becomes a more specific thing. And if it's open world, that's a whole different thing entirely. We haven't really had a real open world Star Ocean game before. It's all been wide linear or strict linear, we'll call it. Like I think Star Ocean 2 would qualify as linear. Star Ocean 3 is more. Star Ocean 3, 4, and 5 are wide linear. Star Ocean 5, maybe, well, no, not 5, 4, you might be able to argue was kind of edging into open world, but still not quite. It's like maybe a wider linear than normal, but not open world entirely. So let's see, what do we got in system options here? We have games, adaptive triggers, wireless controller, sprint. So far, it looks like there's no accessibility settings, at least in the main part of this. We got some stuff here. UI. Display control guide every time. Huh. We'll leave that on for now. Rotate with the camera. I'm ambivalent to this kind of setting, right? It kind of makes sense, but also kind of doesn't. I mean, it kind of disconnects you from the cardinal directions, but at the same time, then the minimap actually reflects where you're pointing. I really don't know what's the best way on that one. Screen HDR on, UI brightness, brightness setting. I don't know why that's. Oh, that's this thing. Okay. Field. We actually have a field of vision. Interesting. You don't often see FOV on console games. They're not FPSs. So that's an interesting addition there. We are on image quality. Let's see. So no accessibility settings. Which is both, I guess, both a positive and a negative. A positive in that they're not shoving non-accessibility options into here. Like, I'm not going to be reviewing it because I didn't really particularly like the first game that much, so I'm not going to be doing first impressions of Fallen Order. Or not Fallen Order, of the new one, Survivor, Jedi Survivor. But the accessibility settings menu in that game is just chock full of settings that are actually not even accessibility settings. They're normal settings that they just put in there. Now, there are some accessibility settings in there, like the ability to set up all kinds of color configuration for different things, which is pretty cool. But like half the other options, or maybe even more than half, are stuff that should be elsewhere. They're not actually accessibility options. They just shoved them in there because they wanted points or something. I hate when games do that. Like subtitles are not an accessibility option. They're part of, they're part of gaming and always have been, at least since like the early 2000s. They're not really an accessibility option. They're just a standard feature, right? Accessibility options should be things that are not standard features. They should be things that are like, taking less button presses down to hold down a button, single button, click to do certain things. Like, not like button mashing QTEs become a single button press. Easy camera controls, stuff like that. Colorblind mode. Stuff like subtitles and head shake, head bobbing for the camera and stuff like that. Those are not accessibility options. Those are standard options and always and have been standard options for like decades, or at least singular or multiple decades. So to put those into an accessibility option list seems like a cop-out to me, because they've never been that, right? I mean, sure, functionality-wise, they kind of are, but they, you know, to take something that has been a just standard option for many, many years and then say, oh, we're just going to call this an accessibility option. To me, then, there could be devs that will say, well, it's an accessibility option now, we don't need to include it because we're not going to have accessibility options. So they don't even use it, you know, it's not even in the game settings at all at that point. Which is, like, what I'm worried about people doing, like, taking subtitles out entirely, which they're not going to do. But still, there might be some shitty game dev out there that would do that. And you know who you are. Shitty AAA devs. Anyway, so no accessibility options, but all the usual stuff is here, so that's fine. Oh wow, actually, this is interesting. So you can choose a main character. I didn't know that. So you have... I wonder if the story is different between the two. I'm gonna have to break out the dice for this, because whenever I have a choice of a male and female character, I leave it to a dice roll to decide what to do. So let me go grab a d6, and we will roll for our fate. I don't think it's going to impact the story at all. Like, it's not going to be an entirely different story route. It'll just be slightly different here and there, I think. And you might even play with the other main character you can choose. So I don't think Trace is you know, going to go that hard on a game. Even though they go kind of hard on games sometimes. Like, Star Ocean 3 is pretty good, especially like the DLC kind of stuff they put in, the hidden dungeons and all that in the Definitive Edition. International version. But, like, Star Ocean 4 and 5 were not really that impressive, you know, kind of in terms of, like, branching story paths. It's never been a thing that's been a part of this franchise. I'll use the purple and gold one. Okay, so if you get a 1, 2, or 3, we'll do whatever. We'll do Jockey McJockface. If we get higher than 3, so 4, 5, or 6, we're gonna do her, whatever her name is. Whoop. Oh boy, okay, where'd that go? I have no clue where that went. Oh, I'm back behind the desk somewhere. God damn it. As you can probably tell from that roll, I haven't actually played D&D for a bit, so rolling dice is now a new thing to me, apparently. So I rolled that thing, and it rolled, and it bounced backward, and it went all over the place, and it's now somewhere behind my desk. I think I'll find that later. Okay. Well then, we're going to pull out the other one that I normally use, which is the blue and gold one. See if I can lose this one too. Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's try this again. Alright, I rolled a 6. So we're going to do the... This is a chick here. Okay. Difficulty. So we have Earth, Galaxy, and Universe. Brutal difficulty. Suitable for players confident in their abilities. Select this when challenging frantic combat. The one thing I wish they would return, which they haven't since 3, is like the trophy system. That was a really interesting aspect of 3 and gave you a lot of things to try and do, right? Like a lot of things to try and unlock by combat and stuff. So it forced you to kind of get really good at the combat system if you wanted to unlock everything. Well, as normal, we're going to do Galaxy, normal difficulty. Voice says dual language. Cool. Alright. So we got some guy. Oh, Baird.
For the sake of the people.
We do not doubt her good
Bertrand.
intentions. It is the method with which we take issue.
Highness.
Good intentions.
Lumber.
Highness.
My daughter, she is young and full
King.
and will need
How
your
serious?
Highness.
Oh, so Albert's this guy.
Baird, what is it?
Oh, this is Letitia. Okay.
Are you unwell?
No, I am quite all right, thank you.
Letitia, maybe? I have no clue how to pronounce that name.
Is that a shooting star?
So I wonder if you choose her. Oh, because yeah, she's the princess of the empire on the planet, right? According to the back.
But
So
it is so low.
the intro must be different, right?
Highness.
So we're seeing this from her perspective, and then if we go with the other character, it's from his perspective as it's coming down. That's kind of interesting. So maybe the intro is different, and then once you meet up, the story paths merge, right? Yeah, see, I don't know why they had that trailer thing at the beginning. That was totally unnecessary. I'm actually I will knock a point off for that, from the overall. Because that's totally unnecessary, and it felt really strange. It's almost like they're saying, "Oh, we know nobody watched the trailer for the game, so we're gonna shove it in the game." All right, so far the UI looks pretty bare, but it could just be because we're at the beginning of the game here. All right, destination. Yeah, let's see. Icons marking your destination. Start with these icons to proceed to your destination.
Albert, you are falling behind.
Forgive me.
What in the world was that? We must investigate at once.
Okay. So we got the mini map up there. What is this? Larcase Weald, maybe. Let's see. Down the bottom left, we got our character things. We have HP. We got some like boxes below that. One of those are for statuses. Then we got the other character below that. L3 to sprint.
Now is not the time for idle
Oh, we actually have block, walls to keep from going other places. Okay, might just be because we're at the beginning, so it's keeping you from doing stuff you shouldn't. Stop mode. What does that do? Freeze time in stop mode with the trackpad. You can take your time using items. Okay, so it's like it's essentially a tactical mode, like in FF7 Remake. Cool. Performing quick HP recovery, you can use a series of 2-star or fewer items automatically to heal a certain amount of your party's HP. Cannot be used during battle. 2-star. So are there various levels of item quality? That'd be interesting. Press circle to cancel quick heal. Okay. Freeform, allow party member to use the best judgment. Okay, so you can actually, interesting. So you can set the party AI here. Use item. And then we have an inventory that pops up there. That's interesting. It's very, minimalistic. Oh, we can change player characters.
Follow my lead.
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I shall see to this.
Let's see, character design-wise, they both look decent.
Trust this to me.
Like, they look the same as they do in the cutscenes, which is, you would expect that in a next-gen game. Even in last-gen, to be honest, too. Late generation Unreal 4 and Engine 4 games were pretty damn good. Don't know if this is running in UE4 or not, but it could be. Let's see. Oh no, it's Cryware. Okay, it's running in Cryware. So it should still be pretty good though. Cryware's a good engine as well. Also using Quixel for all the environmental stuff and the maps. That's what looks pretty good quality. That skybox though, it's pretty cool. Also have dynamic clouds up there, which is interesting. Ground textures are fine. They're not overly like stretched and stuff. You know, you wouldn't think ground textures would be the hardest thing to do for, you know, map texturing, but they freaking are. They're the things that are the easiest to get wrong. Just because, you know, ground has a certain way it looks, and you'd be surprised how often ground textures suck arse in games, even modern ones.
The woods are perilous at this hour. Please.
Okay, so we have
Your
waypoints.
concern is noted, but it will not find purchase. Perhaps we should get a closer look.
Okay, so you can yeet out dialogue by going too far.
Calm yourself. We can conceal ourselves in those
Should I just say calling your tits to this guy? Got some level technology over here.
Let us hide. My word.
What the hell? What is that thing?
Nothing I have ever laid eyes on. I shall take a closer
No,
look.
you mustn't. Stay back where it is safe.
This is literally like an escape pod. Not even. It's like a...
So it was a vehicle. One that traverses the sky, no less.
But how?
It's like a Saiyan pod almost. Tiny thing.
Is that?
The fiend of the Weald. It has found him.
Fiend of the Wheel.
He is unarmed. Your sword, Albert. Quickly.
Highness, we need
He's unarmed. Like hell he is. Probably has a gun.
You there. Take this.
That seems safe. Let's throw a sword around.
Whoa, lady.
Raymond. Chakrams?
Death wish. To arms.
Sword and dagger kind of thing?
Like a gift horse in the mouth.
Or is she dual wielding? I'm not sure. I thought the other sword was shorter.
Let's rumble.
So, boss tutorial. Tutorial boss.
Dogs for battle.
Let's see, battle basics. Different skills allow you to attack, use items, and add buffs and debuffs, etc. Damage to enemy using skill attack skills, which are assigned to circle, triangle, and square. Okay, you need a fixed amount of AP to use a particular assigned skill. If you don't have enough AP, the skill won't activate. Covers over time. Cancel final motion at the end of a skill, pressing a different button to activate the next. So you have skill canceling in this game. That's a fighting game mechanic. Interesting.
I have you covered.
So we have lock on.
Bleed. Train harder.
A victory well defined. Another day. Hard.
Okay, moving on to boss. So that's it. So you don't have normal attacks anymore. It's all skill based.
Thanks for that. Don't know what I would have done if you... Silence. Who are you? Jeez.
That's kind of an interesting decision for a action
Right?
game.
Let you go. After witnessing you exiting a foreign ship? You're more fool than you look.
Wait. You two know that's a ship?
Let me guess. You're the assholes who shot us down, aren't you?
Incoming. Long-range subspace transmission from Antonio Lawrence.
Huh?
Raymond, it's me, Antonio. Can you hear me? Ray, come in.
I knew you weren't alone. Show yourself.
Who in the hell are you? This isn't Raymond Lawrence.
Step into the light.
Hey, asshole. Harm a single hair on my brother, and your planet's scorched earth. You hear me? Raymond, where are you?
How is this possible? This voice? I see no one.
Big ask, I know, but mind if I answer him real quick? After that, I swear, I'm all yours.
Very well, Princess.
Yeah, see, this Raymond character's character model is like really freaking weird.
Go on. Do not keep your comrade waiting, Sir Raymond Lawrence.
Oh, why, thank you, milady.
It has to do with the lighting.
Butler?
You know, like right here it seems okay. The other angle, it seemed like, what the hell level of territory.
I shall give you the space you ask in good faith. In exchange, you will tell us who you are and the nature of your talking airship.
Awesome. Okay, sounds like we got a deal. Feds don't know, can't hurt them. Antonio? It's me, Raymond.
Ray, are you okay?
Yeah, define okay. Had a run-in with the Federation. Didn't end too well for the Yidis.
What the hell?
Emergency landing on some planet called Aster 4. Locals are real friendly. And listening right now.
Are you shitting me?
Chloe's down here somewhere too. But I lost
There's a lot of swearing.
and big question mark on the rest. Look, you've got to get here, man. We need you.
Sir Raymond, Antonio,
Hey, that voice. That one of Aster's friendly locals?
I can guarantee Raymond's safety while he is stranded in this land on one condition. You answer my question. Are you aligned with the Vale Empire?
The who? Yeah, don't even know him. Vile dissembler.
Albert. Your comrades. Have you any idea of their whereabouts?
Well, at the moment, not a clue. Girl named Chloe was riding one of these when she crashed way that away.
And this ship, is it possible for anyone to pilot it?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the point of them. That said, mine's run out of juice, so it's not going anywhere for the time being.
So, if we provide it with more of this
Juice.
theoretically, would we be able to pilot it?
Aren't you a curious one? Huh?
Can it be?
Hey, speak of the devil. Madness.
Madness.
How magnificent.
Computer, get me a read on that craft. Was it from the Yidis? Who's on it?
Readings indicate the pod was also ejected from the Edis. No passenger signal detected.
Is there a town or something in that direction? Not a town, no.
Astonishing.
Only the Madoom ruins.
Albert, you must see this.
Highness. Thanks for the info.
Oh, this guy's definitely contaminating this world.
Hang on to this for a while.
Then again, this guy doesn't seem...
Sorry, buddy.
He's not from the Federation, though, right?
Hold there. We will accompany you.
I wonder what
Ruins can be a
what nation he's
treasure
from and what empire he's from.
And two friendly locals could assist.
Love.
What was,
You may call me Leticia. And this
Leticia,
gentleman
okay.
here is Albert. Stand
That's how I
down,
pronounce her
Albert.
name there.
We are
Leticia.
able to help him. Is that clear?
As you wish.
What's his name? Cliff from 3?
Hey, Antonio.
I forget what they were, what
Catch up later, all right?
empire they were
Wish us
from.
luck.
Roger that. Stay safe down there.
But it was not the Federation, it was some other competing organization, I think.
You guys. I'll explain the ins and outs of all this junk once I know my crew's safe. So, we got a deal?
Yes.
Well, they're getting their minds blown constantly here.
Raymond.
Wait. No more full name stuff. Just Ray is good.
All right. Ray.
Awesome. Okay, let's move.
Interesting. Okay, so we have him in the party now. What is this music?
We are approaching the Madoom ruins. If we follow the pillars to the west, it should come into view. Can you tell our direction by reading the stars?
Nah, don't worry. I got this.
Shall we then?
I found this to be the case in 5 as well, but the background tracks didn't fit the scenes occasionally, right? Like, this seems like it's way too hectic for just what's going on, right? Like, we're not, like, in the middle of a war zone, we're not in the middle of a battle, we're not on a ship that's being attacked. We're just walking through a forest, looking for the ship that supposedly crash-landed. Mistgrave?
The enemy is before us.
Dodging. Element to dodge attacks, can roll away and quickly pedestrian you and the enemy. You can also choose what direction by using L. So you're invincible. To start, you can dodge. Close the gap while slipping past enemy projectiles. Moreover, you can perform feats that doesn't consume AP. Ah, okay, so if you dodge too much, it does block AP recovery, so it's going to cause your attack rate to kind of drop because of that. Gotcha.
Correct. Let us continue along this path.
It's kind of interesting, though, that every attack is now a skill. Like I was mentioning earlier, that's a really interesting design take on action combat, right? Normally what you would do is you'd have some kind of combo chain on one button, and then you would have certain shortcut inputs to then do the skills, right? Kind of like FF7 Remake's combat system. And kind of like how 16's combat system seems to be like.
Been a while since I've swung a sword around, but I guess I still got it.
We can switch with the up and down. Already figured that out. What does this say? Lower left corner of the screen displays the order. PC active becomes incapacitated. You switch to characters could be funding or reviving that ally. Keep battling by adjusting the situation at hand.
My muscles adjusted me to mark. Follow my lead.
So far what I'm seeing right now is that this is a very linear pathed game. But again, this is the beginning, so maybe it opens up a bit more later.
Full of monsters at night, huh? Guess I'm lucky to have met some people out here.
Honeybee?
Even if they are a little eccentric.
The hell? These are weird enemies. You perform attacks on the enemy that are marked with target. Targets are attached automatically to an enemy screen, but you can also target an enemy if you try some manually. Locking on releasing target with R3. Switch manually with left and right. Okay.
Cut them to ribbons.
Level up. Let's see, accumulate enough XP, characters will gain skill points and level up. Then we have like a skill tree in the menu. Those guys are a bit tougher. I heard something ding. Did somebody drop something? Maybe not. So it didn't seem like Ariel did anything different, but there probably are some skills you can only use from the air.
Best not turn down a chance for rest.
Interesting. So this is like a save point. Let's see, you can start characters, check stats, and change the equipment level, strength level, character, points. Okay. So it's discussing what the different stats are. It's kind of a weird way to do it, though. Guts. Cause, evade stats effects, launch resistance. Switch the order by pressing triangle. Okay. And the inventory. Collection. System. So the other two menus are not unlocked at the moment, so. Party and reserve. Okay. Ah, here we go. Okay, so we do have chained combos, but they're on the buttons themselves. Gotcha. So it doesn't seem like there are any combos. Let's see, you can assign combat skills, active skills, and items. See, by using items through chain combos, you can activate their effects faster than normal, build your own original combos while keeping keeping skills, special features, and AP consumed in mind. So you can't do combos between buttons? Okay, so I see. So you're essentially okay, yeah. So this is kind of like this is sort of like 3 in a bit, sort of, where you can assign any skill to any button. There's no specific button that works with certain skills. So we essentially have base. We have 8 skills we can assign here. So one that's on hold. And then for each button, one's on press for each button. But then each button's press has a combo chain of 3. So that also means that we have an additional 2 for each. So we have essentially 4 potential skills per button, which means we have a potential of like 12 different skills. Granted, the chain ones are flow into each other, so you can't necessarily use them individually. Unless you also assign them to hold or like the first on the other ones here. But, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, so you can't interchange the button presses though, so it's always on the same button. Interesting, okay. Passive skills. So you have passive skills. Check and strengthen skills. Expend SP to strengthen abilities. Whoops. So we can level them up basically. Okay, so this feels a lot like 3. I forget if 4. I guess 4 kind of had the similar system. I forget what 5 had. But this definitely reminds me of 3's skill system. Yeah, guess can't do anything with those. Where does it show you your SP at? Where's your SP total at? Oh, there it is, 50 over there. Okay, on the left. Okay, that doesn't autosave. Gotcha. I guess I haven't seen a chest yet. There's one over here, though. Alright, what do we got in here? Triangles interact. Fresh sage. Yeah, so they're gonna have the same item names. That's like a common theme between JRPGs, is that every game in a franchise usually has the same item names. So they're gonna have all the same normal stuff here. What you would expect from an SOG.
We cannot trust this man.
Perhaps.
We cannot trust the Skyman.
Intrigues you?
And another thing, I asked you specifically to not refer to me as Highness.
Curses. He knows.
Curses.
Already, and he soon will.
What the hell?
It is important we remember
This guy's dialogue is
if we fail,
hilariously
we
cliche
need him
in a
on
good
our
way.
side.
In a very good way. Albert. It's kind of interesting they have some level of technology like these
They mark the
runes.
entrance of the ruins.
Let's go.
Prepare yourselves for battle.
I am with you, Highness.
I don't like that the enemy can fall down like that.
Cut them to ribbons.
They can dodge from the air. Okay. I think my teammates fell down, went down to that other area. But they definitely aren't here.
Cut them to ribbons.
Yeah, the fact they can heal is kind of annoying.
Cut them to ribbons. Cut them to ribbons.
Got that one.
Enemies up ahead.
If your character moves a certain distance from the battle, you'll escape. You cannot run away in some situations. General stuff.
I'm well aware.
Oh, weird. Because she was somewhere else outside the battlefield that we escaped. That's weird. So we got some issues with combat traversal.
I will not fall. Not with my promise left unfulfilled.
Okay, so there are some problems with the combat system when it comes to verticality related things. Good to know.
We have company. Happy now. How's that?
Okay. Let's switch over to Raymond. See what we got on him. So we do have some amount of this area's a little bit more open than the other ones were. Corpse.
It's before us.
And there was zombies. Oh, interesting. So if you attack them before they see you, you get
They shall see us deterred.
essentially a ambush situation. What's this? Acquired iron. Oh, we got a chest up here.
Sweet.
200 full. Okay. we have some money. What can we come over here for? Oh, it leads you back over to here. That's kind of interesting. So you have some vertical traversal kind of stuff you can do. Interesting.
Visibility is poor in such darkness. Pray mind your footing.
I'm good.
Press Sage.
So long as whatever we just saw doesn't show its ugly face again.
It holds dominion over this area.
Oh, what?
Rarely should it appear at all.
Well, that is comforting.
Did we just sequence break this level by coming up here? We might have.
Prevail.
So yes, in the beginning of the game here, you don't really have many options with combat. That should get better over time, though.
You two have some killer moves. Pretty used to fighting monsters too, by the way. Is that how it is for everyone that lives here?
Yes. Well, more or less.
Whoa.
Is this where we're supposed to go? Is up here? I don't want to get too close to the entrance. Okay, no, it's not. Down there's where we're supposed to go. It seems like we should be able to go up over here somewhere, too, potentially. I think I saw a path that we could go up a little bit higher, potentially. Yeah, I don't know if we're actually supposed to have to come up here or not. Blueberry potion. And they have stuff up here to find, but I just don't know if we're like in, like we're supposed to be in these areas yet or not. But I mean, they're, yeah, you can get up to these places. It's not like it's impossible to get up here. It's kind of weird though too, because this traversal is not something that's been traditionally in Star Ocean games. Like the ability to jump up terrain like this. I don't remember this from 5 at all. I didn't even think we had a jump button in 5, period. There's a lot of invisible walls though too, so they're kind of limiting where you can go to. We got like a thing up here. How do you get to that? Crap. Now, this feels like a spot you could easily get stuck in, as I proceed to almost get stuck in it. Very ME1 feel to that spot there in terms of like getting stuck in place. So there's a fair amount of like traversal and explorability. Like we can come all the way around to here to get it back over to like this area over there. So that's kind of interesting. I wonder if you take fall damage. No, okay, so there's no fall damage. Enemies respawn over time. jumping all over the place. What's this thing? Field attack. You can destroy the object by attacking it. What did that do? Should it do anything? Oh, was this iron around here before? Was all that stuff around there before? Maybe it was. Acquired aquaberries. That deals poison if I remember correctly. Fresh sage is a revival item. Blueberries are healing items. Let's continue.
These stairs look a little dangerous.
Oh, we have to go around, okay.
Even if we did try to climb them, they'd probably give way.
Well, we have to go this way anyway, damn it.
Perhaps we should go around.
Okay.
The west side looks scalable, does it not?
We'll go to the first boss fight. That's kind of, I think, going to be usually the end point we'll have for... Yeah, if a game is got a pretty long opening like this, when it does, it'll take you a while to get through, you know, parts of it.
Enemies up ahead.
Steady, everyone.
Get cocky. Coming for you guys. Live to fight another day.
Level up. Yeah, since you get a boost on drops and things too when you get a sneak attack or
Prepare yourselves for battle.
yeah, when you get an advantage situation.
So, this is Madum, huh? It's friggin' massive.
Ancient and powerful Assyrian semiomancers once called these hallowed halls home, as written in the old texts.
Okay, didn't get all of that, but I'll save the Q&A for later.
Thieving scumbag.
Let's focus on getting in.
That's our current character. Enemy character.
Enemies up ahead.
Ready yourselves.
See that?
Lead. Do mind your footing. It is much safer not to stray from the path.
Wait!
Not sure why that opened, but it did. Yeah, I don't know what that does. I think it does something, but...
I can see why they're called ruins. Doesn't even look like we can get through.
Long has it been since this place received visitors. Traversal will undoubtedly be treacherous.
What the hell?
Got you two here to show me the way.
Kraton?
With the area, this is our first time actually being here. Tread carefully.
Oh, see, they give you stuff when you break them. Gotcha. What's with the crystals up there? Some kind of collectible? Acquired berries.
I'm no expert on the regional history, but folks here don't seem too friendly.
Before the kingdom became as we know it now, this was the heart of civilization in the western part of the continent. It is said that much of the culture and knowledge that served as the foundation of our kingdom was created in this very place.
So the riffraff left behind by the changing times wind up here, left to fend for themselves, huh?
Interesting.
Ah, great. A dead end.
Perhaps we should retrace our steps. We can confirm our heading in a more open area.
Oh, what's this? Chimera.
The enemy is before us.
Destroying target areas. Separate parts of enemies may have HP, you can destroy these. Okay. Thought that gotta be a little bit more difficult, but not too bad. Oh wow. Scumbags everywhere in here.
Press on. Exquisite.
First Sage. Okay.
Exquisite.
Roly-poly bean. Yep.
Another day.
The battle system has a real kind of Tales feel to it now. Not as complex though. Yeah.
Prepare yourselves for battle. I hear ya. You will not be the last. No, I cannot.
Okay.
Detecting. Escape pod signal above current position. No passenger signal identified.
Where did that voice come from? Who goes there? Show yourself.
We already know it is not the enemy, Albert. Be at ease. Let us concentrate on the very real enemies before us, shall we?
Yes. Very well then.
So exquisite.
Yeah, we had to run. Minor ice needles.
So exquisite.
I wonder if that's a usable spell item, if there are levels to those now too. And you really have to check these now because you would be able to go over there by jumping now, so there could be stuff to find.
At last, we have entered the ruins.
Right. Let's keep going.
This is definitely a boss area.
Please be okay. Gotta be kidding me. What is it?
It's a bomb.
Elena. Why?
Ray,
Why'd I have to play the hero? Why couldn't I just get in the damn escape pod? Some captain I am.
This is a captain.
Ray!
I was joking.
Duma production model 0042.
Oh, it's not a bomb. Okay.
Reactivating.
What the hell is this?
Life forms in need of protection.
What the crap?
What?
Warning. Warning. Hostile entities identified. Engaging defensive mode.
Highness, are you all right?
I believe so.
What the hell?
What is this?
Later. Right now, we've got company.
Duma-based combat. During battles with Duma, while Duma is with you, press R1 to perform special attacks with Duma's help. Consume the VA gauge. Barrier, hold on R1 to raise a barrier around the surrounding area. Neutralize all damage from enemies. Close range attacks will be repelled. Vanguard Assault this action lets you make a high-speed rush attack. When you press R1, the character begins to float. Barrier is up, release button to make a charge. Changing directions. L, blind side. A blind side is when you change directions during a VA rush. Enemy loses sight of you. Enemy will be mobilized, suffers damage for time. Okay. Ah, okay, so that's called the blind side. Gotcha. It's the I think that's what it was called. I think that's what it's been called in most of the games. I just forgot it. That's what it was called. It's the preemptive attack thing.
Get the jump on him.
Now,
ton of guys here.
Threat neutralized. Destroyed.
This is a hell of a lot of enemies. I guess I want you to mess around with the Duma thing. Oh boy. Big Mac. Big Mac.
Bring out the big guns, huh? Put down this rat.
UD Hercules. Okay. Well-timed dodge. VA heal. Oh, so you have perfect dodging bonuses in this game. Interesting. Oh. Oh. This isn't good. Synchro attack.
Energy levels low.
Jeez. Almost didn't make it.
Ray, what is this?
Beats me. Your guess is as good as mine. I thought it was yours. More like in my care than actually mine.
Duma, is that correct? We know you have the faculty of speech. We heard you. Oh, feeling shy, are we? Ray, might this be some new form of semiomancy?
There's that word again. Is it like your version of symbology or something?
Okay, we got a new word, new term for symbology. It's like
Never mind.
the fifth one. It's the fifth game.
Anyway, thanks you two. I really appreciate it. Oh, and while I'm at it, here.
And what will you do once we part?
Well, try and figure out where my friends are for one.
These lands are vast. What will you do for lodging, for food, for survival? What if your companions are across the sea? Would you swim?
Well, gee, I hadn't thought about that.
Ray, and we shall assist you in yours.
Are you sure that's smart? Only thing you know about me is my name.
And we ought rectify that at once, for learning more about the other is sure to benefit us both.
Highness?
Albert, should Raymond agree, he will be in our care. Whatever comes of this, I shall bear the consequences. Allow me to properly introduce myself. I am Leticia Asterius, Crown Princess of Asterius. And this is Albert Bergholm, my royal retainer.
Oh, shoot. I thought he was kidding when he called you Highness.
Oh, you think us liars?
Put yourself in my shoes. Doubt you'd be saying anything differently.
Indeed. Not over far from these ruins is the village of Larset. There we shall find a quiet moment to talk.
I might have to hold on to this for a while.
Please do. Consider it a symbol of the trust we have placed in you.
Morning already? Well, this is a fine mess we found ourselves in.
Think of this as something new, something extraordinary.
I'm gonna guess that's gonna autosave here, so let's go ahead and rate this thing up. Okay. So, ratings. Well, let's start with game design like we normally do. So, moving around areas out of combat seems fine. Jumping is good too. They definitely put things in places where you need to jump to find it. I do have some questions in terms of like getting stuck. Like, it seems like if you jump in just the right place, you could probably get yourself stuck pretty well. I don't know if that has like an auto movement thing like you have in Ghost of Tsushima, where if you get stuck somewhere for too long, it'll move you to a valid spot after a while. But potentially you could get stuck. In terms of combat, combat seems reasonable. The battle system is more similar to 3, I think, than 4 or 5, which is probably a good thing overall. I don't know if we can have 3 characters, or we can have more. So far, we only have 3, though. Hopefully, it's limited to 3 or 4, and not like 6. Because that's pretty chaotic to try and keep track of everybody in that kind of combat situation. I like the slowdown mode. That's kind of interesting. Like it takes a page out of FS7R's book. In terms of like all the special things, mechanics in battle you can do, like the combo system and whatnot, it seems reasonably, it seems reasonable, as is most things with this game. Definitely like resembles more FF. Holy crap! More Star Ocean 3 than 4 or 5 from my memory of what those games were. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. 3 had some pretty good, decent combats. Like 3, I would rate. Like I give an actual rating for 3 would be like 9 out of 10 game overall. So it's a pretty good game. And this has some similarities to that in terms of like the gameplay mechanics here and there. The Doma thing is the Duma thing is kind of interesting. I'll have to mess around with that a bit more to get a real feel for it. It's kind of cool that you have like incentives for doing perfect dodges and things. It's good to see that. More games need to have that if they have dodging. Allow you to have perfect dodges and then give you something for doing that properly. So it's good. What else game design wise? That pretty much covers it all. So for game design, I'm going to rate this game a 7.5 out of 10. I was trying to figure out if it would be a 7.5 or an 8, but I'm going to go with 7.5. There are a couple things that are a little bit janky. Like when we knocked the enemies off of the hill and they went down below, and then what's her name, Leticia or whatever the hell her name is, caused us to retreat from battle by running away from it. I think it was from her, not me. That's kind of weird and very strange. So there's like some weird verticality stuff in battle that can be a problem. But other than that, things seem to be fairly decent. I still think you could go either way in terms of like future rating, whether you can go down or up. Anything is possible for this, I think. Oh, and each character seems to have a distinct kind of fighting ability and whatnot, which is good too. It's like that won't change the rating for that. Let's go to art design next. So for art design in this game, yeah, I think it's pretty decent. The scale seems to be correct for a Star Ocean game. Nothing looks really bad. There's no stretched textures as far as I can see, not even on the mountains and stuff. Character designs look good. Aside from Ray's weird lighting thing. Like right here, right now. Like, you look at Ray right now in this lighting, it looks really freaking odd, right? They get in underneath the right lighting, and he seems fine, right? There's some weirdness with like the lighting on the model, I think. Outside of that, though, I don't see anything wrong with visuals and stuff. Level design kind of ties back into the gameplay thing with the combat, but combat area is not really too well designed. I mean, you can get into battles in specific places. They're not like random encounters. And you fight on the map, so there's like no transition or anything like that. And because of that, there are some situations where you might find enemies getting knocked into places that are hard to get to or that cause weird stuff to happen. So that's kind of a downside there. This game, I wouldn't necessarily call it wide linear. It's actually kind of a wider linear, right? It's like at the upper end of what would be considered wide linear, because the areas are pretty huge. They have interconnected paths that you can get to multiple places from different routes. It's not like true open world. Like we can't just travel from here to another city without any kind of loading, I don't think. But it is like larger than wide linear, which is kind of cool to see. So for art design in this game, we'll give it an 8 out of 10. Pretty decent. So sound design. This one's going to be the one that's going to be kind of a drag on this a bit. In terms of like the combat and stuff, the combat music and stuff seems fine. Background music, though, some of the tracks felt really out of place, like especially during the last section when we were going through that area, previous area. Having that music there made no sense because there was nothing really going on screen. Nothing hectic was going on. But they're playing this really hectic music, right? It just didn't fit whatsoever. And that makes me wonder, because I know that Star Ocean 5 has that same kind of problem now and again. As does Star Ocean 4 sometimes. Not quite as often, but there are some times when the music doesn't make sense. So, all the other background music I've heard so far has been pretty good, though. So I think we'll rate audio design. Sound effects sound okay too. Voice acting sounds okay. Like I said, this is like okay the game, basically, pretty much. So I think we'll give this a 7 out of 10 for audio design. Story. We haven't really had much story yet. Other than that, these guys are not the Federation. They're from somebody else. And they have landed on an undeveloped planet. And are contaminating it extensively, apparently. And these two are doing something, and she's royalty and stuff like that. So we haven't really gotten too deep into the story just yet. But from what I've heard, it sounds kind of interesting. I know that Star Ocean games take a while to kind of get the main hook in as well. So for now, I'm gonna rate this story. For audio design, did I say 7 out of 10? I meant 6 out of 10, not 7 out of 10. But for the story, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10 with room to grow, a lot of room to grow. Okay, so overall, I'm gonna give this game a 7. It's good so far. It's not great. There's some problems with it, but overall, it's pretty decent. However, I did say that at the beginning we're gonna take off a point for that weird ass intro, so we're actually gonna give this a 6 out of 10. Because that. I might have let it skip for like half a point, but it seemed super out of place. The music doesn't fit at all for a Star Ocean kind of theme. It's a straight up like rock metal kind of thing going on with it. Oh, what the hell? You can actually glide with this Duma thing now. Interesting. But, so yeah, 6 out of 10. Definitely room to grow. Definitely room to fall too. This could easily be an 8 or 9. It could also easily be like a 5. If things go way south. But for now, things seem to be okay. So cool. Alright, that's gonna be it for this review. Or let's play, not let's play, first impressions. Any comments, questions, leave them below. I'd appreciate it. And I'll catch you for the next one of these, where we'll be doing some other game that I can't remember the name of at the moment, that I just got recently. Yeah. Till then, this is LMP Games, and I will catch you guys later.